national security, ministers of state, and all high-profile appointees of government, service chiefs, and their representatives, colleague members of the police service, my family and friends, the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. At this glorious moment today, I express my profound gratitude and the honor bestowed on me by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. General of Police of our dear country. Your Excellency, being entrusted with such a pivotal role signifies a personal milestone. It acknowledges the dedication, hard work, and commitment to excellence that have formed the bedrock of my policing career since I joined the service as a recruit in the year 1985. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this leadership position transcends mere title. It embodies a solemn responsibility that demands unwavering vigilance, integrity, and the ability to make decisions that safeguard the safety, security, and the well-being of our citizens and beyond. Your Excellency, I approach this responsibility with the utmost seriousness, fully recognizing the weight of expectations accompanying this role. In alignment with the transformation and modernization of the service, I pledge to uphold the values, traditions, and culture of the Ghana Police Service, consistent with the resetting agenda of Your Excellency, the President. In this regard, the guiding principles will include discipline and respect for seniority within the hierarchy structure of the service. So I assure you, Your Excellency, that professionalism, transparency, accountability, and fairness shall underpin my administration and focus on renewing attitudes and performance, thereby positioning the service to meet the aspirations of our people and foster peace and security in our country. So let me reaffirm a fundamental truth. Policing is a shared and collective responsibility. Consequently, community engagement and community policing and partnership will be an essential strategy for communities to participate in crime prevention and fighting. I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to my family, colleagues, and loved ones for supporting me throughout my journey. Your guidance and trust have been instrumental in shaping me into the leader I am today. And I will continue to depend on your expertise as we work collectively to reset and consolidate the norms and traditions of our institution. At this juncture, I wish to acknowledge the remarkable achievements of my predecessors whose dedication and excellence have paved the way for our present endeavors. To the courageous policemen and women who believe in my ability to lead, I commit to remaining diligent and transparent in all pursuits to collectively build the service we aspire to for our beloved nation. By fostering a secure environment where justice, peace, and stability flourish, we can create the conditions necessary for everyone's well-being. I will strive to uphold the values and standards that have defined this office of generations. I will do everything within my power to ensure that our security remains responsive and proactive. Once again, thank you for your trust. I'm both honored and eager to embark on this new chapter in my policing, and I look forward to collaborating with each of you to cultivate a safer and more secure environment for the people of Ghana. May God bless the Ghana Police Service, bless our homeland Ghana, and bless us all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. IGP. Another round of applause, please. I think we get into the end of this special occasion. May I kindly invite all of us to be upstanding for the national anthem, please.
And you're here on the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. You were just listening to the President, John Mahama, and the newly sworn-in Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohonu. He was replaced. He replaced the outgoing IGP, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare. I'm sure if you've been following the news, that happened yesterday, and we just witnessed his swearing-in ceremony. If you're just joining us, you heard the president committing him or asking the new RGP to be ensured that he does what is necessary, especially regarding the welfare also of police officers. And then the new Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohonu, was given the opportunity to also give his thought after he was sworn in. A few points regarding what he said. He admitted that this position means commitment and dedication, and he's willing to do that or give that. He also assured the president that his approach, he will approach this position with utmost seriousness. He will also rely on the support of everyone to ensure the success of his appointment and the position he's been given. Talked about remaining committed and diligent, and he also said that he will ensure there's justice, peace and stability in the country and within the police service. I was telling you that the appointment of Christian Tete Yohonu comes as the Mahama administration implements changes to key security institutions in line with the agenda to reset Ghana. The Ghana Police Service is undergoing significant reforms, and Yohonu's extensive experience positions him as a strategic choice to lead these transformation efforts. However, the decision to relieve Dr. George Akufo-Dampare of his duty has sharply divided public opinion. Listen to this first.
He has done well, but government doesn't do anything by mistake. probably they have the reason for changing him. If for the benefit of Ghana and the security of the police services and others, I don't think that no one should blame government so much for changing him. After all, somebody was there before he was also put into that office.
The hope of those who want Dampare out has come to light, but it has not stopped there. You see, the police people in this country, some people are saying that the grassroots or the base of the police are not happy about him. But why were they not happy? They were not happy because they wanted to stop a lot of corruption in the system. Although, yes, there were certain cardinal things that he did that were sinful. Yet, we cannot, if the right outweighs the wrong. So if I am to rate him or grade him 8/10, there are things that he did that were wrong. But we are looking at the general atmosphere of peace in the country and security.
It is too early for the president to change him or bring him somebody else. At least, if they retain it for 2 years, I think that would be advisable. Because to me, at the IGP Dampare, I've done so well.
The Dampare issue, we are all expecting it to happen. Because if you study or if you watch the operations of Dampare, you see that the man is not competent enough.
And you had there some individuals expressing their views regarding the removal of the former RGP, Dr. George Akofo Dampare, and the replacement by Christian Teteyono, who was sworn in just some minutes ago. We'll be crossing over to Presidential Affairs correspondent Komla Kluche very shortly. But ahead of that, let's look briefly at the tenure of Dampare. He became RGP 1st August 2021 and to 13th of March 2025, like I told you yesterday. He replaced James Opon-Buenu. Also, the appointment generally hailed due to his past role as ADC to Professor John Evans Atameos and being appointed by NPP's Nana Akufo-Addo as IGP. He also took office as the youngest IGP in the Fourth Republic at the age of 50. Let's bring you some key achievements. He stoked and events under his administration. He stoked controversy in 2022 when he took on the British High Commissioner to Ghana for engaging in local politics for her comment on the arrest of activist Oliver Baka-Vomawo. He also increased police visibility. Policemen handed motorbikes to undertake regular patrols and combat crime. There was also regular engagement with CSOs and members of the creative industry, refurbishment of key police facilities, including the police headquarters, centralized police communication system, and also a crackdown on doomsday prophecies. Now, the concerns that came regarding his administration were around centralizing communication, limited media access to information, also concerns about promotion of officers and transfers, failure to effectively investigate 2020, he was not in office then, and 2024 electoral violence, which resulted in deaths. And I'm sure you heard the president give him that directive to set up an independent committee to look into it. Also, police's handling of protests, including the arrest of innocent bystanders and lawyers, and also allegations of extrajudicial killings. Let's speak to Executive Director, Ghana Institute of Governance and Security, David Agwe. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you've been on for some time. I'm sure you heard the newly sworn in IGP there committing to peace, justice and stability, also promising to handle this position with the seriousness it deserves. Beyond what he said, what do you expect of him, really, especially in terms of police reforms in Ghana?
Yes, I think that the IGP, Teteyono, has seen it all as far as Ghana Policing Service is concerned. And he has gone through all the very important positions in the police service. So for him to be appointed or to be honest with the topmost position as far as the policing concerned is quite deserving. However, I think that actually stepping into a new shoe with a lot of responsibility, which he himself has actually recognized that. And he has to realize that the police service encompasses all kinds of behavior. And so our ability to, ensure that he managed the police service very well within a short period of time that he will be in the position of being IGP. I think looking at his age so far, he has less than 9 months to retirement. And if he's able to justify himself very well, the president, per advice of the Security Council or Council of State, he could be given additional years for him to manage the Ghana Police Service. But I think that he has a Herculean challenge, and to be able to step his foot down very well, to be able to administer the police service that we do know, because it comes with a lot of complexity and a lot of challenges. And he has to be very tough with a sound mind to be able to manage the contemporary policing service that we do have.
We've seen police officers jubilating across the country, filming themselves and sending them on social media, even to media houses. Beyond that, how do you think the removal of Dampare and this subsequent appointment of Yohonu will impact the relationship between the police service and the general public?
Yes, I recognize that in my earlier, few words, that managing institutions and managing police service is not a mere job. Some of us who study contemporary policing and elsewhere, we do know that managing police people, which comprises all kinds of people, is not an easy job. But understanding your profession and understanding what policing is all about will help you navigate through all the challenges. And so I think that those people who expressed, various kinds of their feelings yesterday, one way or the other, the former IGP might have stepped into several foods, people who want to be managed and people who disagree with some of his decisions that he took. Obviously, they will not be happy. Promotion is very key. So one of the feelings within the police service is that some people, their promotion might have delayed. And so they are appointing authorities, and maybe Dr. Dampare may have also suggested something to the Ministry of Interior or the government then, but they didn't support his view. And so those people will be peeved.
If I hear you correctly, you don't expect this to influence the relationship the police has with the public in any way?
I do not think that it may have some repercussions on the public. What we do need to do is to support the new IGP for him to ensure that we have our internal security intact, such that nothing untoward or something will not happen to this country. And so I think that he has what it takes. We all need to give our support. Some of us in the discipline of understanding security services all over the world, we need to support him with our level of expertise. And so that some of them in the uniform performing their duties will also perform the operational duties, and the media will also support in terms of the information flow.
Indeed, and that's where I was coming to, because we had officers complaining that the IGP had barred them from communicating with the media, which also meant that there was no information flow to the media. Do you expect Mr. Yohonu to change that?
He has to decentralize the communication channel within the police service. Those days, we used to have all the regions coordinating information and making sure that the information flow, was well done. But to centralize information at the national headquarters alone, there is a lacuna. And so people will not be happy about it. And if you go to all the regions, you realize that people who were trained as journalists, being part of the police service as PROs or public relations officers, they were more like rendered redundant. They were not having, flow of information. So they were not happy. And so I think that the new IGP, what he has to do is to reverse, to ensure that information are decentralized, and that those communications angle within the Ghana Police Service will also feel part and parcel of to demonstrate their professionalism as far as their professions are concerned.
Let me ask you very briefly.
The new IGP will not gloss over those things.
Let me ask you very briefly. We're running out of time, but in terms of priority, what would you expect of the new IGP? What he should prioritize?
One, the key instrument or the key thing that I would ask him is all about the survival of the state. How should the state or Ghana survive? If Ghana will be able to survive, it depends on our internal security. He has to ensure that he assembles all the regional commanders and to task them to perform their duty professionally and to ensure that they put their ears on the ground, ability to tap into information, ability to ensure that your intelligence services are on the ground to ensure that we police our territorial boundaries and ensure the security of the state is of top priority.
Thank you so much, Mr. Agbe. We'll end it here. David Agbe is a security consultant. Some breaking news coming in through here.
Breaking news on 3FM 92.7.
And we do understand that there have been new appointments of security chiefs. This is coming from the presidency, signed by Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, who is spokesperson to the president, also Minister Government Communications. And I will bring you the details of that. It says President John Dramani Mahama has appointed the following security service chiefs. Director General of the Ghana Prison Service goes to DDGP 3 Patience Bafo-Boni. Let me repeat that. Director General of the Ghana Prison Service, DDGP 3 Patience Bafo-Boni. Also, Chief Fire Service, DCFO Daniela Mawusi Into Sapong. For Chief Fire Officer, the President has appointed DCFO Daniela Mawusi Into Sapong. And the third appointment we have here, per that statement issued by the presidency, is Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service goes to DCI Samuel Basintale Amadou. That's the breaking news coming through here on 3FM 92.7. The president has made new appointments into the security services and new security chiefs. Let me just run you through that one more time. Director General of the Ghana Prison Service, DDGP 3 Patience Bafo-Boni. So Director General of the Ghana Prison Service goes to DDGP 3 Patience Bafo-Boni. Also Chief Fire Officer DCFO Daniela Mawusi Into Sapong. Chief Fire Officer DCFO Daniela Mawusi Into Sapong. And Controller General of the Ghana Immigration Service goes to DCI Samuel Basintale Amadou. And this statement, coming in just some minutes ago, is signed by Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, MP, also spokesperson to the President, Minister, Government Communications.
Breaking news on 3FM 92.7.
Let's bring you some more here. We go to the central region now. Akwesiado is our correspondent to bring us some more reactions regarding the new appointment of the IGP, as well as the should we call it, dismissal of Dr. George Akufo-Dampare yesterday. Kwesiado, what can you tell us?
Okay, thank you. So this reaction is not coming from the central region, but from the Greater Accra region, from the Gas South municipality. And if we do recall, on the 8th of June 2023, there was a killing of some individuals at Akwasa Hills in Botiano. And since that time, we haven't had a closure to that particular matter. We do recall that the matter was subjected before Parliament. Parliament pledged to probe the matter and bring it to conclusion. But as at now, nothing has been done. And we're talking about the lives of 7 persons who were killed by a police team around that time. So following the dismissal of George Akufo-Dampare and subsequent appointment of Christian Tete Yohunu as the new Inspector General of Police, I have been touching base with some persons who lost relatives in that massacre, if I should say. And they are still worried that up till now, they haven't been able to hear anything concrete from either the police or Parliament as to what led to that particular killings. And so they are calling on the newly appointed IGP to revisit the matter, investigate, and then ensure that it is brought into its final conclusion.
Kwesiado, thank you so much. Kwesiado, he's our Central Regional Correspondent, bringing us that update from the outskirts of Accra. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Remember, you can always get more news on shrinews.com. Have a good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. Coming up, tax expert raises concern over lack of import duty rationalization in 2025 budget as he warns of impact on trade and prices.
Businesses didn't hear much about is on the import duties, the rationalization that was in the manifesto of the NDC during the campaign. Taxpayers would also want to see something that they didn't hear much about.
Also, World Bank reaffirms support for Ghana's economic recovery as it applauds government's reform efforts amid fiscal challenges.
I assure you of the World Bank's partnership and support in this journey. President Mahama and his cabinet have really set a tone of candor the past couple of months.
And agribusiness stakeholders push for Women's Development Bank funds to boost agriculture and tackle food inflation.
I think all the money should go into agriculture. Well, I'm being biased, but agriculture, agro-processing should take all the money for the Women's Development Bank.
My name is Bismarck. I'll start these stories and others lined up for you. Stay with me. Thanks for your company. Now to the detail. A tax expert has expressed concern over the absence of measures to rationalize import duties in the 2025 budget presented by Finance Minister Dr. Kasiel Atoforsen. Partner Tax and Regulation for Professional Services firm Deloitte Ghana, Gideon Ayu warns that failing to address inconsistencies in the duty structure could further burden businesses, increase the cost of imported goods, and weaken Ghana's trade competitiveness. The concern comes amid calls for industry players for a review of the country's tariff regime to promote economic growth and ease pressure on consumers.
The identification of the need for economic stability through implementing the Fiscal Responsibility Act, and then we are hoping a full restoration of that act. And I was also very happy seeing the sinking fund requirements in the Public Financial Management Act being talked upon, and we need that very much to ensure that we have debt sustainability going forward. With respect to taxes, every taxpayer will be happy whenever tax is abolished. With respect to the COVID-19 levy, which was also expected, but it's been pushed towards the latter part of the year after reform. Taxpayers are very much looking at the VAT reform that has been announced as it's a major component of the cost of manufacturing businesses and general businesses in Ghana, and therefore they would look at quick reform, and the general idea start on it would be much welcome when they are fully implemented. Another side that was expected that the taxpayers didn't hear much, or businesses didn't hear much about, is on the import duties. The rationalization that was in the manifesto of the NDC during the campaign, taxpayers would also want to see something that they didn't hear much about.
And that was partner tax and regulation for professional services firm Deloitte Ghana, Gideon Aio. Moving on, the World Bank has reaffirmed its support for Ghana's efforts to restore economic stability, commending the government's commitment to financial reforms. The bank highlighted the National Economic Dialogue as a strong signal of the new administration's determination to reset the economy and implement necessary changes. Speaking during a meeting between the President and State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA-affiliated entities, World Bank Country Director Robert Taliesio O'Brien praised the President's candidate to tackling the country's economic challenges.
Let me also thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity to participate in the recent National Economic Dialogue. It was an honor for the World Bank to hear firsthand about how the administration plans to reset Ghana. Today's event is a further testimony of your resolve to accelerate the reset agenda as outlined in the dialogue, and also Minister Forson's budget speech earlier this week. And I assure you of the World Bank's partnership and support in this journey. I think the President Mahama and his cabinet have really set a tone of candor the past couple of months. And there's a term going around in management circles now called radical candor, about the value of that when we speak very candidly with each other. So I would like to continue that in that style.
Robert Taliesio O'Brien is country director of the World Bank. Now, government of Ghana is set to raise an additional 8.26 billion cedis in short-term debt at the next Treasury Bill auction today. The proceeds are mainly to settle maturing debts. There is more in the following 3 Business News Desk report.
According to the Treasury Bill auction notice, government will issue short-term debt securities with maturities ranging from 91 to 182 days as it seeks to raise 8.26 billion cedis in short-term debt. The move aims to finance government's budget deficit and refinance maturing debt. T-bill auction is a regular occurrence through the Bank of Ghana, allowing government to raise funds from domestic investors, including banks, pension funds, and individual investors. Despite the robust demand, interest rates on the short-term instruments declined. The 91-day T-bill yield has dropped to 17.71% from 20.79%. Interest on the 182-day T-bill saw yield drop to 18.96%, down from 22.98%. The 364-day T-bill also recorded a decline in rate, settling at 19.98% from 22.69% in the previous auction. Government's decision to raise additional funds through the T-bill auction is part of its effort to manage the country's debt portfolio and finance its development projects.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on government seeking to raise 8.6 billion cedis in short-term debt through treasury bills. Before we go, agribusiness stakeholders are urging the government to channel funds from the proposed Women's Development Bank into agriculture and agro-processing to help curb rising food inflation. The bank, a key government campaign promise, aims to provide startup capital for women-led businesses and low-interest loans for market traders to expand their ventures. Speaking at the Youth and Women Dialogue, organized by the Africa Skills Hub, Executive Director Daniel Appiah-Ampofo emphasized that investing in agriculture would not only stabilize food prices, but also create jobs across the country's extensive value chain.
I think fairly 99% of all the funds should go to women and also women and youth-led businesses, but largely on agriculture, agro-processing, agribusiness. These are three integrated approach, and out of this, the beauty is the multiplier effect of job creation opportunities, also helping us to stabilize our inflation. We noticed for the past 2 years, one major cause of our inflation prices has been on food prices. So then there is the need to ensure if we're able to produce a lot locally, help to add value to that, I believe that will really help us with a lot on our inflation rates and also our interest rates. So I think all the money should go into agriculture. Well, I'm being biased, but agriculture, agro-processing should take all the money for the Women Development Bank.
And that was Executive Director of Africa Skills Hub, Daniel Appiah-Ampofo, ending Business Daily with me, Bismarck Ausa. For more business stories, please log on to 3news.com. Thanks for your company.